Welcome to Own the Chaos. The stock market is crazy and chaotic.
Crash. You son of a...
Oh, God. Hold on. Pause.
Brad and Fat Man Zoom are here to help you own it.
They were targeting Wall Street when they should have been targeting Capitol Hill. They should have been targeting DC. This is the same thing, and this is what people keep missing.
Taking it to the suits, being relatable and hilarious.
You bought GameStop at 400, didn't you? To the moon, baby. To the moon.
Get ready to own the chaos in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad. That is Fat Man Zoom. The stock market is crazy and chaotic, and we made it our mission to help you own it. Fat Man Zoom, hit him with the starting five.
The starting five is KYM, Joshua, Funny Pranks Gone Wrong, Ralph Vandenhoek, and Arfin. What's going on, guys? Starting five. But we got to hit him with the new segment that we started yesterday by accident. It's the
I don't know if it was by accident, but yeah.
It's the thumbnail breakdown. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right,
Hold on. Solos. You need solos. Okay, here's you.
No, that wasn't good. That wasn't good.
You look like you're terrified. Holy shit. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
All right, you go ahead.
All
Your
right,
turn,
okay,
your turn.
here's mine. Really?
Camera 2.
I feel like I've done this a million times by myself, so I was very comfortable, and now not so much, but we're going to go with it.
No, other side.
Oh, this way.
Yeah, that side.
Oh, my God. What a freaking mess. All right, what's up, guys? How's it going? Stock market's rocking and rolling, except for the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's actually taking a back seat today, but the recovery plays, the value stocks, all those are rocking and rolling today. I'm having a fantastic day, Fat Man Zoom.
All right, I'm done. This is going to happen every time we live stream because it's easier for thumbnails for us. But I want to add a little twist in the future where you guys are going to give us an emotion or a pose, and then we have to mock it. So we'll
God, that would be involved. Awesome. Yeah, like we should do like social media somewhere.
What do you mean?
Like hashtag thumbnails or something.
Oh, yeah.
And
so
then
like,
they give their own pose, and we have to duplicate it. I like that.
Like pucker butt. Pow kablamo, let's go. Listen, Airbnb is definitely one of the topics of discussion.
Yeah.
Jeff Chow. People, welcome to Own the Chaos. Just go ahead and hit that like. Let's not waste any time. We're going to talk about a lot of good stuff. We actually got meat on the bone today.
Yeah.
I know some of you are wondering, is the conversation clickbait about the market crash being imminent? I don't even know because Brad made the title. So we'll find out from Brad. We'll talk more about it. We got 4 solid topics, some bonus content. Make sure you guys stick around because we got some good discussion. Brad, how's your day going, man? How's your count looking?
It's going fantastic. My whole count's up 5% today. A lot of things moving. I got into another penny stock just on some speculation.
Really?
Yeah.
What stock is that?
POAI.
Okay.
It's an oncology, biotech. Some of the biotech stocks have really taken a back seat, and they're starting to heat up a little bit. This one got upgraded. It was at $1. It got upgraded to $5 a share.
Nice.
So I got in on that. Nothing too crazy. Just threw a G at it, and we'll see where it goes. But like that one. That one's doing good so far. The oil plays are coming back big time. My OIH, my Marathon doing well, and the star of the day is Airbnb.
For you?
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm in Airbnb. I didn't even see.
I didn't catch any kind of catalyst on it or anything. It's just up 5%. I don't even know why. If anybody, I've been trying to rack my brain trying to figure out if anybody knows anything, let me know. But like, yeah, that thing is rocking and rolling.
Ooh, did I stop out of Airbnb? I might have stopped out of Airbnb a while ago.
Oh, really?
I don't see it in my account.
AMD, yeah. Jubei is talking about AMD. AMD is rocking and rolling too, man. What a move on all of that stuff. It's just been a wild day. I'm loving every minute of it, though.
I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second, because I didn't see me selling it. Where is it? It's gone.
Huh. You must have stopped out of it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the order, though. That's so weird. I'm not seeing the order at all. But, yeah, so anyways, I got to look at that differently. Damn, I didn't get that run.
Yeah.
That stinks. But I was in AMD. I was really happy with that. I'm still in AMD. That's been a great run. What is AMD sitting at?
AMD is at almost $94 a share, which we put this on the watch list this morning, and I had mentioned that, it's going to test this area at 94. Holy shit, man! I mean, what a move on this thing! It's just not stopping. But it is sitting at resistance right now here at the end of the day.
The lots bounce was pretty nice too this morning.
Yes, it was.
Our community stock.
Nice red to green bounce there. It looks pretty decent today.
Oliver Thorpe, are you still in Neo? No, I've been out of Neo for a minute, bruh.
Yeah.
I still have my Tesla though.
It's still hot as balls outside, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
It's roasting.
So we have a lot of topics, and the topics may take a bit to cover. So let's go ahead and jump in to the conversation.
Yeah. So the first one that I wanted to bring to everybody's conversation, we'll just get this out of the way. We'll cover the title. Is a stock market crash imminent? And I wanted to talk about this because Fundstrat came out with a piece today and talked about how July could potentially be brutal. And I don't when Tom Lee and the gang talk about use words like brutal, my ears get perked up a little bit. I'm like, I'm sorry, what did you say? So I got a little bit nervous about what's going on, and looking towards the month of July, it could potentially be a really choppy month. Historically, July always sucks anyway. The average rate of return in July is around 1.3%. And usually when we have big run-ups in the first half of the year, like we did this year, at 13% or greater, you have a 0.4% growth average. So it's pretty rough. So the level of chop that we might be seeing could be brutal in their exact words. Now, I'm not going to doubt them 1 second and kind of take those words lightly, only because they're usually pretty spot on, and they came up with some pretty good data. 1943, the first half of the year went up 26.4%, if you guys recall. That was around World War II, so things were booming and rocking and rolling. July was a loss of 4% that year. The last time we saw 13+% gains, 1998 was 2019 was 17.3 with a return of 1.3%. And then before that, it was 1998 at 16.8. It was a loss in July at 1.2. So I'm not saying that I don't think there's necessarily going to be a crash, but I think that we definitely should prepare ourselves for some really volatile times between July, especially now. We have some headline news that kind of continues to circulate with the Delta variant that people are very nervous about. So that could play a factor into this chop. However, we also have a really exciting earnings season coming up. So that may offset it. Who knows? But I think that it's very important to really be prepared for what could be coming for the month of July. And by all accounts, we always talk about how history doesn't necessarily, predict the future, but patterns are patterns, and this could certainly be one that might end up playing itself out.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why, I personally have almost 50% of my account in cash, was because we have been running hot, a lot of 52-week highs, and we've said stocks can continue to run, but when you have a situation where you have stocks up, one of the stocks we're going to talk about our top 5 stocks for July, one of the stocks is up 50% year to date, and it's not a growth stock. Yeah. And so when you have those situations where you're trying to delineate between, okay, is this happening because the pandemic was so beaten down, now it's coming back? Or is it just a little bit of an overreaction, or the stock, not an overreaction, but the stock getting ahead of itself? We talked about that. That's what this feels like. Yeah. And so I'm in a unique position where my overall account is up 34% year to date. So being in cash and maybe missing a move, if the year ended now, I'd be happy with 35%.
Hell yeah.
And so you may disagree with this, because you could look at it and say, well, there could be greater gains. In my mind, I'm like, well, yes, I could get more gains, but I could eat into those 33%. Let me wait for a pullback that will happen sometime this year, and let me maintain capital. I don't want to be out of the market altogether, but I have liquidity as the market eventually or could potentially cool down.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree. I mean, with you doing so well in the market at this point, why risk losing all of those gains when you can kind of sit back and wait for big opportunities? And I think that they will come this month. It's historically, it just makes a lot of sense, but there is some good news about this. Even though we historically see a lot of chop in July, and a lot of this has to do with I don't know. It has a lot to do with the how do I put this? Just the way in which we've gone up. We've seen such a huge gain that this makes sense to see some pulling back and maybe having some reason to take some profits or what have you. And so I think that you look at this and look at the history and sit back and kind of just wait for the opportunities, because I think that they will, and I think that those opportunities may indeed come during just before earnings season. So watch out for that. If we do see some selling off because of the Delta variants and there's lack of volume because it's July and not a whole lot of people are trading this time of year anyway, so that could definitely play a factor too. Just be, I guess, diligent, and maybe it would be wise to at least have some cash on the sidelines to take advantage of some of the dips that we might see this month.
Yeah, we got a couple questions in here that I think are relevant. Jeppy Jensen asks, how will tech stocks do in July? I want you to answer that question, but also there are some high growth techs that are actually still trying to make their way back.
Yeah.
So they're not near all-time highs. So my question is, how do you think tech will do? Do you think overall, do you think everything will kind of pull back? Or do you think tech may outperform? How do you think that'll happen? And then what do you think will perform well?
I think it's interesting that we've seen a lot of tech that is just barely green on the year.
Yeah.
The S&P 500's up over 13% in the first half of the year, and something like Apple's only up 2%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very unusual. So I think that we could certainly see a huge growth surge the second half of the year. And, strong markets, I mean, this is a very strong market. I think even if we do see some chop this month, that they're going to continue to be strong. History also has shown that the first half of the year is a monster year. The second half of the year is probably going to continue to be a monster. So barring, obviously, any crazy pandemic issues, I think that we're going to be just fine. It just may be a little bit turbulent for the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think to your point is getting into those old reliable stocks. Like for me, I am compelled to get into maybe some ETFs, so I still have some skin in the game.
Yeah.
Because they won't be as volatile as the specific stocks.
Right.
Maybe get into the leaders like Apple or Amazon that if they go down, I don't mind dollar cost averaging into because I'll hold them forever.
Yeah.
And so that might be consideration, but I do plan to really sit down and say, okay, what am I going to do with this capital? I want to continue to free up more capital because I have profit takes on all of my stocks that are in the green. So out of 19 of my positions in the public portfolio, I think 16 are green.
That's awesome.
And healthy green. And so
yeah.
I locked in the green. So all of them will stop out in the green if they come down. So that's a good position to be in. So there may be some more capital freed up. It is kind of tough to see Airbnb move. I did look. Apparently, I stopped out of Airbnb 2 days ago.
Oh, that sucks.
But I had like a 20% move. Again, sucks, but it's like locking in profits.
Yeah, can't be mad about making that green.
Still high conviction on Airbnb, and I would love to get back into it if that opportunity presents itself.
Yeah.
So all those are considered. Guys, let us know in the comments, what do you think is going to happen with the market? What sectors do you think are going to do well? What stocks do you think you're going to be leaning into? Or do you not think that this market crash is imminent? Let us know what you think. All right. So the next topic is Tesla delivery numbers. And guys, this is what we've been waiting for. Tesla's gonna give us their delivery numbers for Q2. They're gonna announce them at the end of the week. And bro, we're gonna have a record quarter. We're gonna discuss the numbers, but more importantly, I wanna get your feedback on what do we think happens with the stocks and give us a prediction. So let me set the stage.
Okay.
It is pretty much consensus across the board that this will be a record delivery number. So let's remember this.
Yes.
Last quarter was a record. The past 2 quarters sequentially have been a record. Last quarter, Q1, Tesla delivered a little under 185,000 vehicles, which was a record and huge for Q1, let me say. This quarter, low-end predictions are like 193 deliveries. as high as 210,000, but 200,000 is kind of where the consensus is lying,
Yeah.
the median's lying. And so it's got to hit that 200 mark. It's got to hit that 200 mark. If it hits 210, that means it's on its way to what many analysts predict potentially a 900,000 delivery a year. But beyond that, these delivery numbers, I'm a little bit worried that people are already expecting a record-breaking quarter, and the best case scenario is it's just, okay, that's what we expected.
Yep.
Worst case scenario is they come in under 200, and I do think if they come under 200, the stock does not do well.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on how you think it'll play out?
If it's over 210, this stock goes absolutely insane. And to your point, I think if it does come in under 200, it might be rough seas for Tesla. But I do think that the number comes in over 200. We've talked about this, and you know, the chip shortage being an issue, and it is an issue still. But the worst of it could very well be behind us. And demand for Tesla vehicles and vehicles in general, new vehicles in particular, has not slowed down whatsoever. You know, as soon as they're being put out, they're being sold. So I think that Tesla's still very much good shape. We look at the chart here, and I think that there's definitely a case to be made for a potential breakout. You could make the argument here that we're looking at a bull flag pattern for Tesla. So if we get good numbers, a very big breakout over 710 could be coming for Tesla. It had some attempts to try to make a run towards 700, but I think it could very well just laugh at 700 and go right to 710 on some really good news about those orders. So I will say, though, Fat Man Zoom, that I think that there's definitely some risk involved here as well. We've seen some like mixed reviews about what's going on in China and the China sales and stuff like that, which is a huge part of their revenue and their sales as well. So that's the only thing that kind of like has me, I guess, a little bit nervous. But for the most part, I think that I am confident that they'll come in over that 200K number.
All right, what's your prediction? How many deliveries?
You want an exact number?
Yeah, I predict that it's 203,500.
I'm going 203,499. No, I'm just kidding. 201,400. 201,400.
All right, guys. Let's get your predictions in. Maybe we'll get you a free stock.
Ooh.
No, I'm just kidding. No, we won't. We won't, actually.
We haven't done that in a minute.
We haven't done that in a minute. No, guys, let us know. What do you guys predict? Let us know in the chat. What's the deal? What do you guys think? And realistic. Don't come with no BS, 250, 300,000. Let's be real, people. But the one thing I do want to point out as a last note, a lot of people were making a big deal about the numbers for China and deliveries in May.
Yeah.
I think I did not realize was there were far more cars produced in China, in Shanghai, but instead of them exporting them out of Shanghai, they were actually exported out of Europe. So some of the numbers that should have been for China were put into Europe. So the number was a little bit skewed because they didn't deliver them, they just produced them.
Gotcha.
So that's one thing that's like, you got to be careful when that was a huge dip in the stock. When they announced
it's a big headline.
that. Yeah, and people were like freaking out. Is this the beginning of the end? Nobody talked about that. I didn't even know that until today.
Yeah.
So that's something interesting.
Mainstream media, man, get you every time.
I personally, though, I'd be hesitant to add on. I'll hang on to what I have, but I think the stock is not going to have a great week next week. Best case, it goes sideways. I don't think it ends the week next week above 700.
I would be very nervous to buy in right now. If you're already in, that's one thing, but I think I would be very nervous, and I think it's very risky to just buy right now. Could you do it and make some money? I think it's certainly possible, but the risk is for sure real on this thing.
Jorge says 206. Viper says 204K. Right hand, low ball in 185. They better be Q1. Historically, Q2 dominates Q1.
Yeah.
Alina says 195. Savvy 207, Haiti 207.
207.
Oh no, he's
all right.
at 220.
If 207, the stock should do really well too, man.
220? 220, the stock, we'll see $800.
Yeah.
Remember, this stock is volatile. So there it is. Tesla numbers will definitely, that'll be a topic of conversation on Sunday for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Those numbers will be out on Friday, by the way. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you got next?
I wouldn't know because you're next, man.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Top 5 stocks for July, baby. Let's go.
Let's do it. So we have it's obviously July 1st is tomorrow. So we decided to do our top 5 stocks for the month of July. Now, we just got done telling you there's a lot of chop that we're expecting to have happen in July. And I think that, just go into it with understanding that. But I think that these stocks could still end up doing very well and are worth scooping up, in my opinion, for the month of July. And I might actually end up getting into a couple of these as well, indefinitely. So my first one, I already kind of talked about it at the beginning of the show, is Apple. Apple, as I mentioned, is only up 2% for the year. And it's just very unusual for it not to be performing, at least with the market. It's been underperforming the market by more than 10% if you look at the S&P 500. So I think that Apple, over the last several quarters, has done nothing but just deliver on numbers and absolutely smash them. And, the stock has definitely started to move, and I think we could be on the verge of a breakout if we get up certain resistances. And if we look up, get up over certain resistances, I should say. And if we look at Apple, you can tell, it's been no secret this thing has been sideways for the last 9 months, which is very unusual. And so I think that Apple's time to shine is coming upon us very, very soon. They have earnings this month, and I think that could certainly be a good catalyst for them. But it's coming up on this resistance here at around 139, and I think that that's going to be a really important area. As you can see, it came up and tested that area back in December of last year, and have yet to retest that again. And so I think that that's going to be a really interesting area to see if we can get up over that. Now, it's marching towards that area already, so you might be asking yourself, well, this is bounced off of the 200-day moving average and hasn't really looked back since. Do I really want to buy in all the way up here? And what we always say about Apple is just, you got to own it. So I'd much rather own Apple up here and not miss out on this breakout. And if it does come back down, then I'm going to add to it anyway because we just love to own Apple. So I like this one for the month of July, Fat Man Zoom.
My stock is going to be TAP, Molson Coors. We've alluded to it, like we touched on it, but we haven't really brought it to the table. But the reason why I'm bringing it to the table for a couple of reasons. They have earnings July 28th, so I'm hoping that it's a good month for them leading into it. Their past 2 earnings have been pretty solid. So last earnings in April was actually predicted to be negative. It actually came in positive, which is always good for a company. They beat over 110% earnings per share. And it had a nice move up, but it's on a pullback. And from last earnings, it's down like 6%.
Yeah.
So I think this is setting up to be in a good situation come July 28th into earnings. I was listening to an interview on CNBC with the CEO, and he talked about demand. One of the other reasons I like it is Topo Chico. I talked to you guys about Coke, Molson Coors partnership for Topo Chico hard seltzer. Guys, I can't speak today. Let me slow down. Topo Chico hard seltzer. We love the brand. We love the branding. We love the product. And we think they're going to, or I think they're going to make a huge dent into the hard seltzer arena. And so I'm excited to see how that comes out. That still has markets to open into. So it's been doing really well. Their hard seltzer, I want to say he said like Canada, they're up like 300% on what they estimated.
Wow. Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what he said. Demand's really high. They talked about hospitality, and he was really bullish on hospitality, bars and restaurants coming back. They said 85% of the business has already come back. That bodes really well for the company and for just hospitality as a whole. Molson Coors is a sleeper. I think Topo Chico, we're going to have it once it comes to Maryland. It's not yet available. The bear case is they've had supply chain issues, but a lot of companies right now have supply chain issues. I think they're going to resolve that. I don't think that's going to be an issue. Watch out for Topo Chico hard seltzer. I think they're going to dominate, and this is going to get Molson Coors. As much as you can put Coors Light and Miller Lite on the map, they're going to put it on the map.
It's certainly been correcting since its 61.48 highs earlier this month, and I think that I agree with you, man. I mean, the numbers that we're seeing coming out of, and even though Constellation Brands missed earnings, their revenue beats were pretty telling, and I think that just kind of speaks to the industry itself. I like this at 51.50 if it comes back and retests that area. I think it's certainly likely just by looking at the chart, but I love the outlook here for TAP. My next one is going to be Fat Man Zoom Visa, ticker symbol V.
I love
and
that stock.
Visa is just been another one that is actually only up around I think 3% on the year. It's actually hasn't been outperforming the market, and so I like Visa here. I think that it's going to be one that is a sleeper stock as far as travel is concerned. And so I think when you look at travel, you think of things like Airbnb, some of the hospitality areas, hotels, that sort of thing. But Visa is going to do really well too. I mean, we've talked about how much we love PayPal and Square. This is going to be something that I think is going to absolutely crush it in a time where travel demand is at all-time highs. We're looking at, and you've been on planes, I've been on planes, they're packed. So people are going to be swiping their Visa cards everywhere. They're going to make a ton of money on all of the revenue from charges to businesses and that sort of thing. So transaction fees, all that good stuff. So I like Visa here, and I really like the chart as well. This has been following the 50-day moving average pretty good. I like it if it comes back on a dip around 231, and I personally plan to get into Visa here as well if it does come back down to retest this 50-day moving average and holds up pretty well. I might be wrong on that, up 3% on the year, by the way.
8%.
8%. Okay. So yeah, just 8%, which is still underperforming the market overall. So I think that it changes course and actually will end up outperforming the market second half of the year.
Yeah, and before I get to the number 4 stock, all these stocks typically are on our watch list. We have a watch list that we send out that is free 99. It's free. 5 stocks that we're watching. We send out every morning before the market opens. If you guys are interested to get 5 stocks like this every single day before the market opens, click on the description. There is a link in there. Or I guess click on the link in description. But the reason why I bring up the watch list is because my next stock is Camping World, CWH, and I'm going to read you what I wrote in the watch list today. It was very simple and straightforward, and then we'll expand on that. So Camping World, first time visitor, or did you have it on the watch list?
Yeah, I don't know. Watch list. It was a year ago, but yeah.
So Camping World, one of the leaders in the RV world, has had a great run. It's already up 50% year to date, so that's certainly something to keep in mind. It is a little bit on a pullback. July will be a month to watch out for as it moves towards an expecting record earnings August 2nd. So July, hopefully we'll see a little bit of a run up. And then for those watching fundamentals and really believe in PE, it has a ridiculously low PE at 8.5. Brad, they've had 4 great quarters, and this one is just head and shoulders above the last. And I think we're going to see a massive guidance increase. I don't want to hold on to this long term, but I think this is a great short-term swing trade. Watch out for Camping World.
I love Camping World, and I've loved it, as I mentioned before, for the last year. Last year, I liked it because, the safest way to travel and go on vacation was with an RV. And we saw RVs, they couldn't make them fast enough, literally. And so we saw things like Thor and Winnebago. They all did extremely well. Camping World is basically a dealer for those guys. So I like that. I also like it this summer, because there's still restrictions internationally. So even though things are getting much better here in the U.S., there's still issues internationally. So if you still want to travel and do it domestically, you can do it with an RV. Renting an RV or buying an RV, and we've seen obviously spending's going crazy. So people buying RVs isn't going to be like something that is going to go away anytime soon. I like the chart here too, Fat Man Zoom. Look at this. It's about ready to break up over the 50-day moving average as well. So if we see a break up over there around 41.5, I think we see some really good continuation. Look at the way that this bounced off that 200-day. I mean, it just ripped right off of it. So I think that if we see this move up over the 50, should bode really well. Still sitting right in the middle of that RSI, so it's not even close to being overbought. I think there's plenty of room to run for Camping World as well. My last one here for number 5 is going to be OIH. Now, if you guys follow this channel, you know that I'm a pretty big fan of energy and oil and how that's been progressing. I do think that oil is still going to move considerably the second half of this year. We've talked about travel demand, all that good stuff, but the infrastructure bill is going to be big too. I mean, that's going to accelerate demand for energy. So there's just so many bullish cases, so many tailwinds for energy in general. And OIH is the ETF for oil services. So Halliburton, Schlumberger, those types of companies are in the OIH ETF. And so when you look at OIH, it's actually lagged the rest of energy. When you look at some of the XLE, which is another energy ETF focused solely on oil. The oil services ETF has lagged considerably, and we look and compare to the price of oil back in 2015, 2016, where OIH was. It was in the $400 to $500 range. Right now, it's trading at $230 a share. And so we look at the chart. It's still on this really nice trend here. It's on a pullback. It's actually at the bottom of this trend. I think that we see OIH actually have a really nice run. Watch for this 230 mark. It's had some trouble here around $230 a share. Neither one of us can talk today. What the hell? It's at the 230 mark is going to be that resistance there. So watch it. But I think that we could certainly break out, and I really like it at these levels too.
Well, there you guys have it. Our top 5 stocks for July. Make sure you hit that like in the comments. If you guys got a stock that you think is going to crush in July, throw it in the chat, in the comments, wherever you want. If there's one you want us to check out, let us know. But I'm excited about that list. I think it's going to do well. Side note.
Yeah.
A lot of you guys are asking about Micron earnings, which we can certainly check out. Arfin, thanks for the numbers. So Micron Technology has earnings today after hours. Earnings per share, $1.88. It just came out. Shit, they beat. Pull that up.
What's up?
$1.71 estimates, they beat. $1.88 revenue, they beat. 7.23 estimate, 7.42 revenue beat.
Bed Bath & Beyond had earnings today too, correct?
Yeah, pre-market, I believe.
Yeah. They crushed it, I think. Perhaps. Yeah, they had a huge move up and a really big pullback. But yeah, they had a good day. Micron, yeah, it's gonna continue to be a really good stock here. Right now, it's down around 1 1/3%. It's not too much of a crazy reaction. So is that a miss? An earnings miss?
No. I think those are. Wait.
Just the earnings per share, 220 to 240 versus.
I think this is for next. This is the range for next quarter.
Oh, I see. Okay. Gotcha. They raised their guidance, all that good stuff. So it looks like it's a pretty good opportunity if this does dip down. If we look at the daily, Micron's a great company, by the way. I like this company a lot. It's struggled here recently, but I think that the raised guidance and the earnings beat there, I think it's going to be good. Looking at this, I like it at 82 if it does pull back there. But bro, I think this could very well potentially continue to move up. Watch for a breakup over 87.22.
All right. We saved the best topic for last. For maybe the first time in Own the Chaos history, Brad has put a cheesecloth condom stock as one of his favorite picks. I opened up the watch list every morning. We come together to figure out what the 5 stocks we're watching, and one Brad brought was none other than Tattooed Chef. Now, we need to talk about this because you have literally planted the flag with hate on Tattooed Chef, but now, according to the watch list, you said you love it. I feel like
I didn't say I loved it. Let's not go crazy here.
Yeah. It seemed like a low-key love. You put it on the watch list. That takes a lot for one of the 5 stocks to be Tattooed Chef. So, surprise, surprise, hell is freezing over. Brad, what's up with Tattooed Chef? Why are you all of a sudden bullish on Tattooed Chef?
I feel good about the stock as far as where it's at this point. When people were asking me about Tattooed Chef at $30 per share, or we'll say $28 per share, even at around 25, I said, hey, listen, the stock is downtrending. It continued to just be an absolute dog. It's still not exactly doing great at this point in time. However, there are some key things that I think are worth looking at to potentially keep on a watch list. And no, I haven't bought this. I don't know if I plan on buying it. Some things have to happen in order for me to really consider doing so. But, when you look at competitors to Beyond Meat, obviously Impossible Foods comes to mind. Tattooed Chef is starting to grow, and they've done some pretty decent M&A down in the Southwest. They're appealing to the Hispanic crowd down there as well. They're starting to see some traction in that culture, which is actually pretty surprising. I just wouldn't have expected that, but it's happening. And so it's a $20 billion industry just down in that area. I think this could be something that starts to get some traction, and it already has. So look at the chart with me here, and this is kind of my case. This is really kind of where I started to see things beginning to develop, and it's not necessarily, like I said, something that this is very speculative, and I did put that in the watch list. But you look at this potential wedge pattern we're seeing. So the higher lows is what I kind of took notice of when I was looking at the chart here. You're seeing some lower highs, yes, but there's some consolidation here. This is what I would call a rising wedge here. So this is something that I think could potentially start to turn into a really good bull move if we see more consolidation through here. If this pattern continues to play out, I think we could certainly see a bull move on Tattooed Chef. I don't know if it's necessarily worth buying just yet. Like I said, I think that I would love to see some more consolidation, see if it consolidates some. We start to see higher lows even still, and this comes down to maybe come into that $21 range to consolidate before we see a nice, decent breakout. Their last quarterly earnings were halfway decent. If we see another earnings call like that, I think that Tattooed Chef could end up having a pretty decent breakout.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, when I say cheesecloth condom, Stock Watch Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on Sundays. Brad typically shouts out a cheesecloth condom, and the reason why is he said these stocks are shitty, and they're about as reliable as a cheesecloth condom, which I've never seen those on sale, but apparently Brad thinks they exist. So basically it means it's a shitty stock. You're talking about the Nikolas of the world.
Yeah.
Have shown up on the cheesecloth condom, the Triple C stock of the week. So, Tattooed Chef. Now, I want to make a point, and I kind of say it tongue-in-cheek, because I think you're going to get a lot of heat on this.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to come at you. I think they're going to come with the emotion, and, you know, I can already hear it.
Yes.
Brad, you're late to the game. Oh, jumping on the bandwagon. Oh, I've been in it since $3, and I whole accounted it, yada, yada, yada. Here's the reality. One, it's kind of sad. Because of the emotion that people invest in certain stocks. And what I was trying to explain to our level 3, which is our live trading in the morning, was people treat stocks like they're teams. And it's like, it's not a sports team, people. You don't have to live and die by a stock. You don't have to ride, through losses and wins. Ideally, with the stock, you ride through the wins. And so I feel like some people get into stocks and they treat them like they're their favorite sports teams. And come hell or high water, they just are married to it. And I think that's very dangerous. And so the lesson here is you can be bearish on a stock and hate it 1 minute, and things can change. And the next day, you can love it. It's all about headwinds, tailwinds, bull, bear case, and catalyst. And so this is a perfect example of you weren't a fan of it. You didn't see the hype. Catalyst came out through through 2 acquisitions, and you looked at the technicals and you're like, okay, here's a catalyst. Let me do a little bit more due diligence. Then you checked out the technical chart, and then from there, you felt like your position changed, and that's normal and that's okay. And I think that's the sign of a good trader and a good investor, to be able to be diplomatic and not have confirmation bias, because you could have easily been on the other end and you could have been like, I hate this stock and it doesn't matter what it does, I'm going to always hate this stock. That's the reverse of, I love this stock, I'm going to love it no matter what.
Yeah, and you see that actually a lot with hedge funds. Hedge funds that'll short stocks, they'll short them into the ground. I mean, how many bigger names have we seen that just couldn't help themselves after Tesla's run up 800%? They were short at $200 and it ran to 800, and they're like, I'm still short on this thing. And it's just like, when are you going to give up? So just understanding the dynamics of this. I mean, Tattooed Chef has corrected 30% from its highs, and they're continuing to grow. It seemed like this is an appropriate time to consider maybe looking at this as a potential buy. So not saying that it's going to, light anybody's world on fire, but it's looking like it's in an area in which it's corrected enough to maybe consider getting into. So that's why I decided to put it on the watch list today. I appreciate that. I really like the analogy of just not treating this like it's your home team, but actually being objective, and you're just trying to make money, not actually marry this thing.
Yeah, and I think it was savvy. Somebody got it in a 10, is riding free shares. Kudos to you. That's awesome that you're riding free shares. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Julia, I get it. You like Brad. You think he's a fucking hot potato. Man, you are thirsty, Julia. Thirsty. Maybe a little bit of jealousy that I have, but you're thirsty, girl. Every day it's with Brad, and looking like a snack, and this shirt and that shirt. His hair, oh, you got a haircut. Oh, you edged up your beard.
My party shirt's on today.
We get it. We get it.
Julie, you keep that shit coming. Don't listen to him.
Oh, you like those handymen, those working men, blue collar.
Got calluses on my hands.
I think that's what we got.
I think that's what we got too. So, guys, we covered a ton of stuff. Man, that flew by. I can't believe it's 4:15. So, if you guys liked this video, we didn't even get to that, but there was.
If you just liked Brad, over to give it a like.
There's over.
Julia's like, why can't I give more thumbs up? He just looks so sexy. Oh my god, with that shirt. One less button. Brad.
Listen, give me all of the flowers, Julie.
I want to see that.
Give me all of the flowers. Don't you listen to him.
She probably loves big hairy men.
Well, that is not me.
I can't keep
There's
liking
12-year-old boy under here. Just putting that out there. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, certainly would appreciate that thumbs up on your way out the door to show support. And if you guys want to hit that join button to join the Chaos Crew, be a part of our Discord group, our trade alerts, my portfolio, all that good stuff, hit the join button next to subscribe. It helps support the channel, helps support the studio you see behind you. And that's going to do it for us. We'll be back here tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time to go live, to go over whatever the hell's going on tomorrow. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. That's going to do it for me. Anything else, Fat Man Zoom?
Brad, I'll hit that thumbs up, and I'll take my thumb.
I quit this bitch.
And I'll tell you what, I'll put my thumb. Bye. Thanks for the donation.
Hey, thanks for the donation, Shane. We appreciate you, bro. Bye. Do it again.
I quit this bitch.
I'll put that thumb right up your butt.